Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie, for those who don't know me, reviewing Love Island USA, Season 7, Episode 27. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. I think we can all agree we needed Wednesday off. We needed Wednesday off. It was just a lot. It was a lot on the show. It was a lot online. My God, the hood rats came out to play. Lord have mercy. So many people were creating all these think pieces and stuff, which I'm not mad at. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about my opinions, so it is what it is. But the craziest thing was the following and unfollowing that was going on social media. Like, people were losing followers by the thousands. Some of that did have to do with Ciara and her whole controversy thing outside the show, but a lot of it was because of what they saw on the show. And here's my last take on that whole thing. The hood rats believe, and yes, I'm calling you the hood rats, they believe that Huda is being bullied by Olandria, Shelly, and Ciara. Now, to be honest, I don't know if maybe I grew up in a rougher time in school, but number one, not everybody has to be your friend. If somebody's not your friend, if somebody calls you out on your behavior, that's not being bullied, okay? Being bullied is a repeated pattern of mistreatment, of deliberate isolation, and that has not been happening to Huda. If anything, Huda has already shown that behavior to other people. If we really want to talk about who's the mean girls, who's the bully, I don't even think that I would say Huda is a bully. I just think that she mismanages her emotions a lot. She has a very brash mouth, and one day somebody might pop her in it. So she better be careful. But anyways, Shelly, Olandria, and Ciara do have the right to say, I am tired of your behavior. I don't appreciate how you've been acting in this villa, how you've been acting to other people, how you've been acting to me, and I don't want to be involved in this anymore. That's not even the case. They end up all mending fences this episode. But if they didn't, that is their right. Do we live in reality? Like, does everybody like you? Not everybody likes me. Some of y'all watching this because you hate watch me. Like, some of y'all adamantly don't like me. That's life. They have the right to not like Huda, to not want to hang out with Huda, to not want to be friends with Huda. That's their prerogative. Like I said, we're all drained. The villa is drained too. Little Daddy Ace, he's drained. He just feels like that postcard challenge was a lot for him. Obviously, because the way that he walked up to the mailbox, I'm like, yeah, we missed a lot. This man is pressed over something. But anyways, when it comes to Shelly, he feels like he doesn't understand how Shelly can have a few conversations with Chris and then all of a sudden be torn.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just drained. This is still a big ass issue. All this torn type of mentality. I've still made double the amount of effort. Like,
Ace has been putting in effort when it comes to romantic gestures. However, we've seen on multiple occasions, Ace not knowing some basic knowledge about Shelly. So I find it hard to believe that Ace truly thinks he has developed a deep connection with Shelly. They've spent a lot of time together. He does romantic things for her. But has he actually gotten to know her on like a, hey, I can actually see us being partners on the outside? I don't think so. She and Chris have had those conversations. She sees it logistically more with Chris than she does with Ace. Now, I don't know where that stands now because of how things went. But also, we got to remember that these two had a chance on the outside. They met organically outside. And from then, Shelly was like, I mean, he's cute, but age difference, distance, like just things are not going to work. Those factors are still present today. On top of that, too, he felt like explore. He set these rules. Explore. Everybody follow Little Daddy Ace. Explore. She let you do that. She now wants to explore. You should let her do that. If you want to close things off, that's a separate conversation, but you had your chance to explore. She was staying with Austin. She didn't explore really nobody else who came in. Here's a guy that she genuinely is interested in seeing if there's a chance with. You can let her explore too. Then we see Taylor, who says that the only person who's able to curse him out the way that Olandria did is either his mother or his wife, both of which Olandria is not. I find issue with that. I know that I'm in the minority. I already know I'm in the minority. But I personally don't think it's ever okay to call a man a bitch, at least to his face. But I grew up in a household where shut up was a curse word to my mother. She was like, don't you ever say that to your brothers. Like, I don't care what kind of argument you're having. Like, we just don't speak that way to people. So calling somebody a bitch If somebody called me a bitch and I'm in a relationship with you, you're never seeing me again. If I'm calling a man a bitch, I wouldn't even respect you if you still wanted to date me, if I even spoke that way to you. Like, I'm not doing that. Child, why did... Sorry, sidebar. The other day, I was having a conversation with my boyfriend, and he said something, and to annoy him, I called him bro. He was even annoyed at that. I called him bro. Imagine if I called him a... Please. Like, myself, the people around me, we just don't speak like that to people. So Taylor, I don't think that you should allow that from your mother or from your wife either. But okay. The guys do say that when Amaya gets in that state, that it is hard to have a conversation with her. You can't have a positive argument. I do understand how frustrating it is to deal with somebody whose emotions are just always at the brink. Like, completely understand. Some people were saying that I would also be drained by Amaya, and I'm like making it seem as if she wouldn't bother me. I've already said that her outbursts are too much. Ben said they're too much. They take away from the moment. Somebody's about to be dumped or somebody's being separated from their partner and you want to be wailing. That's no. But if she is more of an emotional person, like, I would respect that. There's nothing I could do about that. I tend to cry a lot too. It's just that people wouldn't know because you guys only see me for like 20 minutes a day. But like, whatever, let the girl be emotional, damn. Let the girl be affectionate, damn. And on top of that too, when you strip away the tears, Amaya's arguments actually make sense. It's clouded by her emotions, by her getting riled up, by her over talking and not really allowing the other person to say their point as well. But her points do make sense. Even when she was yelling at Ace, I understood where she was coming from. When she was upset with Austin, I understood where she was coming from. When she had her altercation with Zach, also understood where she was coming from. She does herself a disservice by getting so emotionally charged because a lot of people don't want to deal with that. But the girl, it makes sense. She does. One girl who's not making sense to me is Olandria. Olandria, girl, no.
How do you feel about his responses?
What is there to feel? Even though there's been like effort in between, it's felt like it's been fuck me. That shit hurt like hell, Clark, and I don't think you understand.
No, I hear you.
Clark, I'm telling you, open your... Like, Taylor can be done with you in a split second. He has no backbone.
Did Clark even ask for advice? Let's just start there. Did Clark even ask? No. Why are you advising her? Especially because you are still jaded from your situation. Respectfully, you're the last person I want to hear from, to be honest with you. She feels as if her being discarded so quickly is going to be a repeated behavior from Taylor. And so she's warning Clark that he's going to do the same to her. That is not true. Well, actually, let me say, it's not a direct correlation. Just because it happened to you doesn't mean it will absolutely happen to the next girl. Sometimes people you like somebody else. It happens. It happens, okay? Sometimes people develop a strong connection in less time. You have to learn the hard way that longevity doesn't mean compatibility. That longevity doesn't mean strong bonds. I had so many childhood friends that I was holding on to until I moved to Toronto and I realized, oh my gosh, this is what real friendship looks like. And I had to cut ties with people who I'd known for like over 20 years. But respectfully, that duration didn't mean that we were actually meant to be friends. And I've had more fulfilling friendships from people who I've only known for the last 5-6 years of my life. It's just life. So yeah, I really didn't like that Olandria was warning Clark, like, don't do that. She didn't ask for that. I don't need your bad vibes, in some next girl's relationship. Nobody asked for that. Then we see Huda. Obviously, she's pouting in the corner, and the girls are just having their debrief before they acknowledge Huda. And before somebody uses this as an example of bullying, Huda herself says, I do not want to talk to anybody. Of course, we know production probably said, y'all go and sit and talk about the challenge. So of course she has to be there, but she doesn't want to be involved. So she put herself to the side. That is not the girls purposefully isolating her from the situation. If we're going to be honest, okay? But anyways, the girls are like, hey, listen, it wasn't personal. It does suck that you feel like everybody was attacking you, but that was not the intention whatsoever. I do feel for Huda because feeling like you don't belong or feeling like you can't get something right sucks. That absolutely sucks. So in that aspect, I do feel for her. Where I don't feel for her is, number one, like the forceful pouting. To me, that always pisses me off. There's somebody who I know who does that. When she doesn't get her way, all of a sudden she has a sad face. Everybody has to give her attention. Oh God, I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it. But I'm not close enough to her to call it out, but story for another day. But on top of that too, like, you have had repeated behavior that people had given you grace after grace after grace after grace. And finally they decided enough is enough. They have the right to do that. You have apologized and maybe the girls haven't yet accepted. They have the right to do that. They have the right to be fed up. They have the right to be upset. They have the right to call you out on your behavior, especially if you want to be in a relationship with them. That is all their right. It sucks. It hurts. It's painful, but it's still their right. I know it probably sucks because Huda came in with Shelly and Alandria, and then Sierra came in shortly after that. So it feels like, damn, my OG girls don't really rock with me. But respectfully, there are other girls who you can hang out with. There's Clark. There's what are these girls' names? There's Jaden. There's Amaya. There's Andreina. There was Grayson. But in the dressing room, Grayson is like, and whoever wrote that note about me, you're a pussy. Well, we find out in the beds that it was Huda. Huda was talking to Chris and she was like, yeah, Grayson is not happy with whoever wrote it and it was me. So maybe not so much Grayson, but there are other people to be friends with. Honestly, this is a life lesson. A life lesson. Granted, she does end up mending things with Shelly and Alandria, but the life lesson is sometimes you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Sometimes people are not going to accept your behavior. Sometimes they're going to say, you know what? I do have love for you, but we don't need to be in a relationship anymore. It is painful. It sucks, but that's life. Moving on. Alandria says the door is closed between her and Taylor. I don't ever want to hear his name come out of your mouth. Ever. Not even to give nobody advice about Taylor. No. Stop it. Okay. Then we have Shelly. Was it Shelly? Yes, Shelly says she's annoyed that Ace wrote the postcard about her. And honestly, he really shouldn't have. I don't know why he thought that that was a good idea.
This really has me looking at Ace sideways.
When you read it, I was like, not again.
You did all these grand things for me, which I love so much. And in the same breath, tell me that you still want to be open. What do you expect me to do?
Exactly.
It's like, damn, is this not what you said, though?
Shelly is well within her rights to explore, especially because those are the rules that Little Daddy Ace set for the villa. And she's doing exactly that. The only thing that I kind of disagree with Shelly is if you're truly going to be open and you're going to tell people that you are open and other people are open as well, you then can't chastise somebody for having an interaction with your man and you being upset about that because of your feelings for the man. That's a little thing. I do think that a part of her does feel a way like, man, I like him. So it does annoy me that somebody is doing these things to him that should only be me doing it. However, her main argument, which I do agree with, is friendship. Huda had rules for the girls that the girls respected. Not a single one of the original girls did too much with Jeremiah as requested from Huda. When that opportunity came to be reciprocated from Huda to the other girls and their men, that wasn't upheld. But then you're still going to say, oh, but you're my girl, you're my girl, you're my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does feel hypocritical. So I do understand why Shelly is irritated by that. But then maybe this is a time for you to then outline those boundaries for Huda and for Ace and for yourself. Because if Ace is saying you can't put boundaries on me if you don't have boundaries for yourself, then you also need to agree to whatever boundaries that you feel like everybody else should agree to as well, if we're going to be honest about that. In the morning, although Ace and Shelly just haven't really been talking as much, he still decides to make breakfast for her and brought a flower as well. There's still some awkward tension between Huda and the girls. So she started eating her breakfast in the change room, but then she goes to the speakeasy. That was painful to watch. I did feel like, damn, to feel that uncomfortable that you can't even eat in the same room as these girls, that sucks. Actions still have consequences though. I'm so sorry. Like I'm gonna die on that hill that actions have consequences, okay? Then we have Alandria, who ends up speaking to Huda afterwards because obviously they need to clear the air.
I felt weird because I am close to you and Shelly. You do confide in me a lot, and I do confide in you. Our relationship is different from you and the other girls. If you're gonna take girl code seriously and sisterhood seriously,
She doesn't own Chris. Like,
why are you moving like that with Chris? Like, why are you kissing him?
I deserve to explore a connection too.
100%.
I've been single this whole time. The kiss, I don't think I was wrong for that. What really, really hurt in that moment was everyone yelling at me. That shit hurt, bro.
So a lot of people felt like it was wrong for Alandria to say what she said about the kiss between Huda and Chris. The reason why I didn't feel like it was a point in calling it out is because the whole challenge was airing out dirty laundry. So it kind of just fit the theme of the day. And on top of that too, Alandria was trying to make a point that girl code is not being followed by Huda. And here's an example why. I get why people felt a way about it. I just can also understand why it was said. And on top of that too, I still think it's crazy that Huda thought she would get loyalty from Alandria when it was a situation between Huda versus Shelly. Like, in that instance, Alandria is going to pick Shelly. I don't know how that was missed by Huda, but like, I wouldn't be shocked if she went to defend Shelly because that's her girl. That's been her girl from the beginning. But where Alandria loses me is bringing Chris into the situation, just basically saying like, well, you can understand why Shelly's upset because she wanted to explore Chris. Okay. And Chris wants to explore both of them. I believe that Chris likes Huda. I do. I don't think it'll last, but I believe that he likes her. I believe that Huda likes Chris. I do think their feelings for each other are genuine. I do think that they are allowed to explore. If everybody's open, then she's allowed to kiss the man, whether it's in private or not. And on top of that too, when would she have had the time to talk to Shelly? Because Shelly wasn't talking to her. I don't think she would have said it anyways, but Shelly wasn't talking to her. So I don't know. They're making it a big deal, this whole Chris thing. I don't think it's that deep. They finally decided to just bury the hatchet and move on. I'm glad that they were able to mend things, but just as a reminder, if they decided that they don't want to be friends anymore, that's okay. Zach and Amaya have a conversation. He is still walking ahead of these women. Oh, Lord. And some of the British girlies were like, yeah, that's normal over here in the UK. Lord, it would just hurt my chest. I love a chivalrous man. My goodness. But anyways, it didn't go well.
You had every opportunity to let me know how you feel. I'm getting questions asked by 2 other connections that I once had. You already seen how sad I was.
I didn't want to kiss you, but I just did. In the real world, I wouldn't. I'm a bit like, nah. Obviously, I should have said, you know what, Maya, it's too soon. And then you would have understood my boundaries a little bit more. So obviously, like, after you kissed me...
Where is your head at?
Okay, that's what you think.
And you're not an honest man. You're an extremely odd individual, and I do not want to fucking talk to you ever again.
It's fine. Goodbye. See you later.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Amaya was like, that was a really mean thing to say. If you really felt like discomfort, then why not express that, Zach? You're a big man. You're a big man. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely see why Amaya got as charged up as she did. He wanted to land his point, but honestly, after you tell somebody, or I was just letting you be affectionate with me, but I didn't actually want to do that, and on the outside, I would have like been like, no, don't you do like. So then what? So what's your intention? She then has every right to question your intentions for being on the show. Because if you wouldn't typically do that on the outside, why are you allowing that to happen in here? Like, what are you playing at? But anyway, she cusses him out, of course. He's irritated with her, yeah. At some point, they kind of get over it, but I didn't blame Amaya for getting upset with him because what he said would have pissed me off too. Speaking of being pissed off, Grayson, of course, is still upset with Pepe because he hasn't fully expressed where his head is at with their connection, with whether or not he still has feelings for Hannah. He does finally tell her that the spark is just not there for him. I do appreciate that he said it, but he had to be pulled up on it. And Grayson already said her problem is the fact that it keeps coming up. But when she talks to Pepe, he doesn't make it seem like it's an issue. But if it's still being spoken about, it's probably because he still brings it up. So he already knew he wasn't feeling it for Grayson. He could have told her earlier, but whatever. He has said it now and they are done. Then we see Amaya thanking Brian for sticking up for her. I was really happy that he did that. They started to flirt like a little bit. And I was like, oh, I never thought about it, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it. We'll see if anything develops from there. Then we see Clark and Taylor say that they're really happy in their coupling. I'll be honest with you. Out of the couples that we see right now, that might be the couple that I believe in the most in terms of longevity. I think that they could actually make something work. And y'all, Taylor really can't kiss. Taylor cannot kiss to save his life. My God. Alejandra, girl, you crashing out for what? It's probably for the best. Like, it's probably for the best. But anyways, they're happy together. That's fine. Shelly and Huda speak on the dock, and Shelly's basically saying what she's been saying the past few days.
I knew that you wanted to continue that, not only for me. I don't want you to think I'm doing this selfishly.
It's really what you want.
It's not only for me, but it's for you too. I wanted to explore that connection as well.
The switch was just too crazy to me for me to process all that in one sitting. Well, we've been flirting, and earlier we had this great conversation, this and that, so.
I do apologize for that, and that's something like it really hurt that I hurt you.
I definitely think that because Shelly doesn't process the whole like Chris being here is for the both of us in the way that Huda wants her to process it, then maybe she should just stop saying it, because it's not landing for Shelly the way that you want it to land for her. She does apologize for hurting Shelly's feelings, and Shelly does accept the apology. I don't know if she'll feel the same after she hears what Huda said, like, oh, well, if I was ugly, would it have hit different with the whole Ace thing? Like, baby girl, they're having different arguments. Like, Huda thinks it's because I'm coming for Shelly's man and I'm just so pretty, but Shelly is like, it's friendship. You claim you want friendship, but when it's your time to show up as a friend, you haven't been there. And even Huda, not too long ago, was apologizing to the women, saying she hasn't been the best friend she could have been to them. So she's aware of that. And this is Shelly showing her another instance of not being the friend that she wanted Huda to be. Hopefully now that the storm has passed in the villa, the hood rats can chill online, because respectfully, the way that people are upset about this alleged behavior that they're seeing happen towards Huda on screen, you're now perpetuating that behavior online to other people. Why do the people handling Olandra and Shelly's comments have to, their Instagrams have to cut off the comments because people are being like heinous in there and in their DMs? I will never understand it. I will never get it. All of this over a TV show. It's just crazy to me, but let's move on. They get a text that they're going to find out what America thinks, at least whoever votes for the show, because I'm sure America has different opinions. The boys think that Nick is the most genuine and Taylor is the least. The girls think that Elan is the most and Zach is the least. But America thinks that Pepe is the most and Taylor is the least. But Ace was right there. Ace wasn't too far behind. Then we have the boys thinking that Ace is the most boyfriend material, Austin being the least. The girls do agree, but America thinks that Pepe is the most boyfriend material and Taylor is, Taylor was the least, followed by Austin and then Ace. And this was a shock to the system for Shelly, because she thought that he would be number one for all of them. I mean, I love that you support your man, but girl, let's be for real, okay? Okay. You don't even want to close off and make him your boyfriend. The girls think that the most trustworthy is Shelly and the least is Huda. The boys think that Jaden is the most trustworthy and that Huda is the least, followed by Alandria, because she spills secrets, yeah. And then America thinks that Amaya is the most trustworthy and the least is Clark. Clark is going to have a rough day because, of course, people were upset about Olandra. You know what I'm saying? Whole shebang. Then we have the girls who think that Olandra is the most genuine and Clark is the least genuine. The boys do agree with Olandra, but then put Andreina as the least genuine. America thinks that Amaya is the most genuine and Clark is the least, followed by Shelly. That one did surprise me. Shelly being the least genuine girl. I mean, I guess in recent events, it does kind of feel like you're playing Ace's game. So if they don't trust Ace, they probably don't also trust Shelly. I don't know. That's me trying to rationalize it. I thought that one was confusing. The villa thinks that Zach and Amaya would be the best to go on vacation with, and they vote Clark and Taylor as the worst. America agrees with Amaya and Zach being the best, and they say that Clark and Taylor are the worst, followed by Ace and Shelly. Then America's least favorite islanders are Jaden, Grayson, Andreina, TJ, Taylor, and Austin. The villa can only keep one person. This is what I like to see. When America gets to vote, let the vote count. Don't then give these islanders all this power to nullify the vote, because what really is the point of that? But anyways, they all get to vote for one person that they want to keep. Clark picks Taylor. Iris picks TJ. Brian picks Jaden, making it very clear to Andreina that he's not into it anymore. Pepe picks Taylor. Elin picks Grayson. Olandra picks Austin. Huda picks Andreina. Chris picks Jaden. Zach picks TJ. Amaya picks Andreina. Shelly picks Andreina. Nick picks Taylor. Ace picks Taylor. And lastly, Sierra picks Taylor. Meaning Jaden, Grayson, Andreina, Austin, and TJ are all dumped. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I thought Iris was going to follow. Because who else is she connecting with outside of TJ? Ain't nobody. Unless you want to talk to Brian or Elin. Yeah. No, but she already had the chance and she wasn't feeling them. So yeah, we'll see. Is Iris going to stay? I think Iris might as well go at this point, to be honest. But yeah, that's it for this episode. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.